right on into the draft as we take a look at both teams, their bans, their picks. It's bans of Nixon, Ursa for Warriors Gaming Unity, and the bans of MK and Legion Commander for Clutch Gamers, while picking up Abaddon and Swordar's WG Unity and Clutch Gamers. They've picked up the Magnus and the Troll. And anything popping out from this draft right at the beginning for you?
Well, Troll's one of those heroes that when he kind of gets out of control, he really gets out of control. Like he can like 1v1 almost all the carries in the game, and with the Magnus empowering him, he should be able to get that farm. But it's also one of those weird things where just looking at these first two picks from Clutch Gamers, Magnus and Troll, you kind of don't have a lot of team fighting ability early. So as we saw last game when they had the Slardar, like they and the Magnus as well, they couldn't really do anything until they had those blinks on those initiators. So we'll see how they fill in the gaps for the rest of the draft. But Clutch Gamers looked really good last game. I mean, it felt like they outdrafted Warriors Gaming really, really well, and they also played their drafts splendidly, and they controlled the game once they had the ability to.
Yeah, and WG Unity, they're trying to switch it up this time. They don't have the Magnus. They go back to the Slardar, however. Or, no. They didn't have the Slardar, did they?
No, Clutch Gamers had the Slardar. So Warriors Gaming, instead of having a Earth Spirit and Warlock opening, they opened with this Abaddon and Slardar. And
Yeah.
I guess it's a lot more dynamic than the first two heroes they picked last game.
Oh yeah, and Abaddon, one of those heroes that he doesn't get, he was getting picked up a lot at Kiev or DAC it was. Then he kind of fell off for a little bit, and he's getting picked up a lot again recently. He is one of those heroes that can very much turn around a late game.
Oh yeah, he's a huge nuisance in lane, and then suddenly you see him run at you with Solar Crest Radiance. You're like, what do we do? And so far, Clutch Gamers, they don't have heroes that are particularly good against Abaddon. So Abaddon is weak against heroes that can proc his ulti with very low commitment. Troll doesn't really do that. Troll doesn't have the range or the kind of movement mechanics, say like a TA or say like what a TA or an OD could do. The Clutch Gamers pick up a Crystal Maiden, which is a pretty stable position 4 pick, and that aura is useful for both the Magnus and the Troll, so that should be very helpful. Crystal Maiden is one of those kind of a weird hero right now. She's like almost a 100% pick, I guess. Well, not really 100%, but like she's very frequently picked in some regions and then overlooked in other regions like China.
Yeah, I actually noticed that you don't really see Crystal Maiden as much in China that you do in other regions.
That's part of the beauty of Dota. Is like every region looks at the game differently. There's so many different ways to approach the game and so many metas, and it feels like this patch they all work. And even Warriors Gaming, they have like two very different approaches from this game and the previous game. Like they aren't repeating any of their heroes right now. Actually, none of these heroes are repeats for either team, minus the Magnus.
Well, the Magnus switch sides, and then the Slardar switch sides as well.
Yeah.
And Earthshaker gets picked up for Clutch Gamers, and Crystal Maiden and Earthshaker, they do so well roaming together. Troll, who doesn't struggle that much by himself, I think
Troll's a really strong solo laner. Yeah. I'm not sure how he does against Abaddon. He probably wins that lane, but maybe not as hard as he would like. The tricky part about Abaddon is like the more levels he gets, the scarier he gets. So if you don't do a good job of zoning the Abaddon out of experience early, he comes back and bites you, or takes your tower, or just wins the game.
Do you think Abaddon doesn't, if he's gonna be in that off laner role, or they maybe send him safe lane instead?
I don't think teams have been running safe lane Abaddon a lot, and part of the reason why is Abaddon thrives more with experience than gold, and whenever you have a hero like that, it's usually better in the off lane, because then you want to give a different hero farm priority. that can sort of make better use of the farm per se. So
Yeah.
there.
All right.
All right. But they also have the Dazzle. The Dazzle's usually used in dual or aggressive or not aggressive safe lanes, but just like in dual lanes, or just like when you're expecting the other team to want to send multiple heroes into the Dazzle's lane. That's when he thrives.
And him with the Sardar combined, they can, especially when Sardar gets level 2 where he's got the sprint and the Slithering Crush, you get that poison touch out, you sprint, Slithering Crush, and with your safe laner, you could definitely find some opportunities for a couple of kills for the side of Warriors Gaming Unity.
You also have to worry about the Sunstrike.
Yeah.
So I think Warriors Gaming, they probably want to pick up...
Ooh.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. That's not a hero we've seen in a while. They got the classic Dazzle Huskar, and you also have an Abaddon.
That's quite the lineup, because I've seen Dazzle a lot more, and Dazzle is another one of those heroes that you don't see from region to region. But when you see him, of course, at least I always go, well, maybe the Huskar can come out. But then, after a couple of times of doing it and being told no 300 times, you don't expect it anymore. And now he's back. Is it a lineup that still works? And now Bristleback picked up for Clutch Gamers?
It might work. Clutch Gamers don't have a lot of sort of the ability to fight into Huskar early. Maybe that's why they picked the Bristleback. They maybe felt that they needed to be stronger in the early game. Huskar sort of suffers when you can deter him from pushing towers early, because that hero falls off very quickly. So if you deny the Huskar from taking objectives early and like you build up your own farm, then they should be able to fight him, especially since they have a Troll Warlord to get on top of him.
Is this mid Bristle?
I'm tempted to say that it's a mid Bristle. We'd have to look at which player was playing what?
Yeah, offlane was playing the Darkseer, and then it was Armel who's playing the Bristle now, so he would be mid. It was offlane to play the Darkseer, so it's going to be interesting.
Good old Dazzle Huskar. I hope Dazzle Huskar doesn't make it back into the game. I hated playing against that.
Yeah, it's
some of my friends really liked it because like it made you have to like look out for something. In the drafting phase, you had to look out for something. Right? At the time when Dazzle Huskar was back in the game, there was only like maybe 20 to 30 heroes that were being picked, so it was always on your mind. Almost in a funny way, like if you were first pick, you would let the Dazzle Huskar through, and if you were second pick, you would ban one or the other. Or the Oracle, when that was also a thing.
Yeah.
There's a smoke being broken by this Huskar, so this CM's not going to be able to get that ward in.
Oh god, that early damage is just so great for WGU. FY Solo already at half health. That's disgusting.
Huskar started with a Windlace. Could it? Oh, there's a Sunstrike somewhere.
Yeah, right by the stairs. Not gonna lie.
Tried. Either way, this CM's probably gonna want to pop one of the base shrines.
They're gonna hit so hard, especially with the Sunstrike capabilities, like Poison Touch and the Slithering Crush with Huskar just coming in with the Burning Spears. Like Sunstrike's gonna land a lot if they're really on it.
Yep. And here's the thing about Huskar. He's very strong in most of the lanes that he's in, so he's a fairly independent hero. Your supports have a lot of freedom in what they can do. This Dazzle's most likely what the Dazzle's going to do is just stack and pull as much as he can. I think that's part of the reason why the Huskar TP'd in to prevent the CM from planting a ward there. So the Slardar has a lot of freedom of which lane he's going to go to.
Is this more of a, instead of Radiance on Abaddon, is this more Vlad's Solar Crest, maybe Ags?
I wouldn't be surprised if he skips the Midas Radiance build and goes for something a little bit more pushy, like as you said, a Vlad Solar Crest.
Mm-hmm.
Since Huskar is one of those heroes where you kind of have to win by timing, so you you use Huskar, you get your armlet, you take a couple towers, you take Roshan, you take more towers, you take another Roshan, you end the game, kind of thing.
So it's actually troll mid.
Okay.
They ended up
so they have
switching.
the Bristle. The Bristle is probably slightly better against the Abaddon because I don't think you can shield off the Quill Spray stacks, so this puts a little bit of pressure on Abaddon eventually.
They must have swapped a couple of times because I know they had Armel on the Bristle for a little bit, and then they must have swapped him. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, this is a smoked up Earthshaker. I wonder if he's gonna make something happen mid.
Meanwhile,
by the way, this Magnus lane is pretty suffering.
Yeah.
Just whenever you walk into the lane, you get Burning Spear. Let's take a look at mid, actually.
Yeah, I'm watching. Could come in if he gets a nice fissure. Nana might be in a little bit of trouble, but
I think Troll wants to put a little bit more damage on the.
They get the fissure very nice. Not closed up. He
very
might still get the kill. Nana getting very low. Maybe if he went for one more. I'm surprised he didn't. That could have definitely been a kill on Nana, but he instead backs off.
I feel like that was a little bit unexpected on the Earthshaker. There's like two ways they make that kill happen. Either the Troll puts a little bit more damage on the Invoker so that they just kill him without the Fissure block and just a regular Fissure, or they go for that Fissure block, and they're just a little bit short there.
Magnus missing the skewer on Yang. Now the Poison Touch comes out. Magnus could be in a little bit of trouble if the Huskar was here, but should be able to just walk away and eat the damage of this Poison Touch.
This is actually just the best thing that Magnus can do, pull the wave, because Huskar will just fully zone out the Magnus if the heat gets close. This Abaddon's having a great lane, actually. He's level 3.
Top of the CS chart.
Yeah, he's got 2 range creeps here, so that puts Bristleback under a little bit of pressure, and neither of his supports are really helping him right now. Like the Crystal Maiden is mid with Earthshaker and Troll.
Yeah, they're gonna. I don't think Fly Soul is going over for the kill, especially with no mana now. They usually do roam together, but that's usually after Crystal Maiden will get a level or 2 in the jungle with Frostbite.
It's odd because there's only so many kills that they can get with that support duo. The Abaddon's a very difficult kill now that he's level 3 with a Poor Man's Shield and a Wand or Stick, and there has to be like a very specific lane location in order for them to kill the Invoker, since the Invoker's so close to his tower right now. It looks like they're wrapping up on him. They actually walk through a ward, so I think the CMs are being pinged out.
No, it was the Earthshaker who went through a ward. And they do get the Frostbite.
Okay.
They're going to look for the Fissure as well. They're going to get the Troll to come on in. He gets himself the first blood on Nana. Sunstrike's not going to hit. And X-Nova, Slither and Crush, not going to land. So Salve used on the Troll. Going to be healing up pretty much back to about 66% health. And it's 1-0 for Clutch Gamers, so they kind of work around the ward. Even with the ward, I'm surprised Nana stayed that far up. And that was still pretty close to tower.
I don't think he was expecting to take so much damage there at once.
Early level in Miscoil for the Abaddon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So
Magnus is just getting what he can. Never actually going close to the Huskar. He's doing a great job, actually. He's matched on levels with the Huskar.
Haste is out for the Earthshaker, and Crystal Maiden's not over mid just yet. They're looking for the Fissure, trying to land in the right spot. They do block him off for just a moment longer. They're going to get the Whirling Axes to come out. Nana's going to be able to use that Ghost Walk, and now coming over is going to be X-Nova. They're going to try and chase down this Troll. They do get the Slither and Crush to come out on him. Nana starts to hit away at this Troll, and now it looks as though Nana, they're going to get turned around on his Fly Solo comes in with the Frostbite. They finally get themselves a kill on the Troll, and now X-Nova is the one who has to turn away. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, both mids falling, but Troll is the one who gets the kill on the Invoker, and that's really where the benefit comes towards Clutch Gamer.
Yeah, it's not the best trade for Invoker, since Invoker really wants that EXP from the kill, and he died first. I mean, it does help out the Slardar a little bit. This lane is pretty much lost for the Invoker now. Invoker is probably going to have to play very safe from now on.
And even when he's playing safe, because he's not getting too far off the tower, Nana's only going a couple of steps past, and then the Fissure hits, and that's really all they need.
if you're Clutch Gamers, you have to be a little bit worried about this Huskar though. He's getting closer to his armlet, and this Dazzle's getting some decent levels.
Let's see, they can go for the Frostbite. He does not have a Photic shield just yet. No, there it is. There's the root gone, but the stun is going to be popped. Kangaroo's going to be in a little bit of trouble. Gabby's going to continue to go in.
He could have he had plenty of time to suicide with this coil there. Wonder why he didn't go for it, or maybe got stuck or something. I'm not sure.
All that considered, 3-1 in favor of Clutch Gamers, but again, a pretty close game until probably the first big team fight comes out. Meanwhile, we take a look over top. Xnova's going to try and get himself the Slither Crush, get himself in a range of that Earthshaker, but the Fissure comes out on both Nana as well as Xnova. They get the Cold Snap. Cold Zera is going to be in a bunch of trouble, and that's actually Boombox, not Cold Zera of SK.
Even though Invoker got that kill, Trollwillard's getting a pretty much free lane mid, and looks like Troll's going for the standard Vlad's first. It'll be interesting to see, because I haven't seen a Dazzle Huskar in a while, so I'm not sure if Clutch Gamers... Oh. Yeah, it's a rough lane for Invoker. I'm not sure if Clutch Gamers, if their lineup is good enough to fight the Huskar Dazzle head-on. But I think this Troll's doing well enough to swing that matchup in their favor.
Invoker's just not doing well at all, and that's, you know, Invoker's one of those heroes who, you know, mid to late game, he starts to come online, especially once he gets that Axe, he really starts hitting hard. So that combined with the Huskar Dazzle.
The thing is, if the Huskar opens up enough map control... Oh
God, again with that Fissure, Nana's going to have to try and run away. He's already won 3-1. Coming over as Xnova, going to try and get that Slithering Crush. He comes over with the Sprint. And both Boombox as well as Armel are just going to Delta Split. Get out of the way of that Sword Art. But we take a look over at the Abaddon. He's level 7. He's doing very well.
Somehow Invokers always like come back from these scenarios if their team is doing well. Since that Invoker farms extremely quickly once he gets his Midas. So this game does kind of rely on Huskar's shoulders, and the Abaddon, who's also doing very well.
Yeah, only sitting 4th in the net worth, but he's not behind by much. The Huskar next up after him. And then the top two are Troll by quite a bit and Bristle by a little, but we are yet to see the Dazzle Huskar combination really interact with any of the side of WGU except for this Magnus.
I think he has his armlet now, so something he might consider is just straight up tanking the tower and using his armlet toggles to tank the tower. It's the classic Dazzle Huskar play.
And actually look towards Magnus, and Yang's going to use that Poison Touch. Should be just to back him off.
So Bristleback TPing, and they want to deter this.
Yeah, there's the TPM from Gabby, but he's going to get hit with that Slithering Crush. And now the Skewer to the high ground. Yang is going to have to TP out, but not going to be enough to survive. He doesn't have enough health to really survive that Shockwave that comes in from the Magnus. And they get themselves a kill. They back off the Huskar. They back off the rest of WGU for the time being. And they get themselves a kill.
So CG are doing something really cool here. They're stacking both of those Ancient Camps, which will be really good for Bristleback. Bristleback clears those very quickly, and the neat thing about this Bristleback doing this camp is you can just tank it and use the Shrine to keep yourself alive.
Wow. That's a 3-stack.
Yep. WG's also got a ward to spot this out, but I don't think there's much they can do.
Go look over bottom. Xion is here with Kangaroo, and Solo did show himself, but they're gonna leave, get that bottom tier 1, and doing a very good job right now of just pushing the map is WGU despite being down 1200 gold. We take a look over mid. Nana might be in a little bit of trouble again. He's continuing to run from Armel, and Nana just he's 700 gold away from that Midas, or 800 gold. It's been just such a rough game for him, but again, Invoker, just one of those heroes who can always just bring it back. And now he might be in a little bit of trouble as there's the Frostbite. Here comes the Whirling Axes as well as the Fissure. That'll keep him in place enough for them to get another kill on this Troll. Or on this Invoker. I'm sorry. That brain shut off
So
there.
CG are quite a bit of net worth ahead. Well, not quite a bit, but like 1.5k net worth ahead. I think a lot of that is those movements on the Invoker, and the stack for the Bristleback produced about 500 gold. So even though they're a tower behind, they're still ahead for CG. CG playing this really well, and I think this Magnus has been really successful in the top lane. I think he's keeping up with the Abaddon despite laning against the Huskar with those creep pulls that he was pulling.
And he's almost got that Blink Dagger, especially with the amount of harassment he was taking. The Vanguard's out on Gabby. He's going for the Blade Mail next.
So something I would have been worried about for CG against WG's lineup is like whether or not they can actually have the timing to fight WG when WG want to push. But it definitely seems like they will be able to, since they have that blink on the Magnus, so they can kind of pull a target away from the Dazzle. Or just maybe even just RP the Dazzle.
Yeah, so that probably be the turning point for CG to really start fighting as 5 and put the pressure on the Huskar. As they actually go into Roche. The Fissures there, the pings are coming out, the Blink Dagger's heading over towards this Magnus, who needs to get a little bit more mana before they can go in there just yet. And WGU, Kangaroo, as well as Xion are in there, and the Troll starts to try and turn this around. Xion might be in a little bit of trouble. They're going to pop that ult to the Abaddon, coming in with the Fissure, as well as the 3-man Echo Slam coming in from that Earthshaker, and he will get himself one in the Slardar. He'll get turned around on Xion, who's continuing to tear apart this side of CG until he's taken out. And there's a big RP out on 2. And he's going to turn that around for CG. And now it looks as though WG are on the run as they've lost 5. They'll lose all 5. They've lost 4 and will lose all 5. As Nana is the last victim. Troll with the double kill. A nice RP coming out from the Magnus. And Roche going their way as well.
That was some cool decision making from the Trolls. Well, normally you would think, hey, I don't want to go into the pit because my Magnus isn't ready to follow up, right? But then he kind of applied the Whirling Axes on everyone in the pit, so the Huskar wasn't able to deal enough damage to kill anyone immediately. And that bought enough time. Well, first of all, it stalled the Roshan from dying, so WG didn't get it. And then it bought enough time for the Magnus to show up and finish the fight. That was really cool.
And a great play by the Earthshaker as well to get in there with the Echo Slam out on 3. Really
That was
put a dent.
brilliant ultis from everyone.
And no blink for the Earthshaker. He just walked in and said, hello, I'm going to Echo Slam. And there it is.
Oh.
It's as easy as that when you're this far ahead.
Yeah. Huskar is a hero that doesn't really play well from behind, so I wouldn't be surprised if CG play this the next 10 minutes well, they should be able to just win the game. Or
Xion started to really tear away at CG, but then I think he focused Bristleback way too much. And he just couldn't find a kill in return.
I mean, this Bristleback's got 1.8k HP, so he's incredibly difficult to kill.
I don't know why you're gonna try and kill the hardest target to kill, it seems, on CG. Why not go for the rest of the crowd at that point?
Maybe he was just hitting what he could hit.
And there's actually a 3-man smoke in the jungle from CG. Meanwhile, Earthshaker dies to the Invoker. They're going to get the blink with the skewer. Maybe in a little bit of trouble is going to be Xion. He's going to use that life break to try and get himself a kill. The RP comes out on 2 as well as the ulti coming in from Fly Solo. They're going to get themselves another one to Xion. And now that ult is popped on Kangaroo, and he's going to have to try and run away from the rest of CG. But it is a triple kill for this Troll. He is way far ahead, and it's 14-5 for Clutch Gamers. He's up 4,000, almost 4,500 net worth above the Huskar.
Yeah, that was so the Troll just basically just targeted the Dazzle first there, because either way you don't want the Dazzle to grave the Huskar, otherwise the Huskar will do many damages to you. And Slider actually picks up his blink. The problem I see for WG here is there's not a lot of targets they can go on Magnus should always be in the back, and you don't really want to initiate first on the Bristle or the Aegis Troll, so...
Actually looks as though X-Nova's gonna fall. They pick off another one. And they'll get that mid-tier one as well.
If there's a hero that out tower hits Huskar, it's Troll Warlord.
They're up so much early on, and Troll's going to continue to try and go in on this Huskar. He's going to be in a bunch of trouble. There's a big bash, but there's the Shallow Grave. He's going to try and turn it around on the Troll. Troll's going to get very low. He's got that Aegis, so it's just the Aegis for now, but Gabby's going to continue to go in. That nice goo, as well as those Quill sprays, and now they've got Troll back. I'm not too sure WG want to go back in on this. Fly Soul going to make some space with that ult, and now they work again. Clutch Gamers are going to work again towards this tier 2 mid. Shun starting to hit away at the Troll. They don't actually
CG just back off for now. I think they want to hold their lead while they... Actually, they might go for an RP here. Looks like they're turning around.
There's a couple here for WG. Maybe they use Troll as the bait, but they're going to actually go in with Gabby. Gabby's going to look for that fissure. There's a Slither Crush coming out into as well as the Frostbite. A big Echo Slam to follow it up, and another RP on 2. They'll get themselves 3 very quickly, and Kangaroo's going to have to try and run away as well as Nana, but Nana's not really having too much. He'll die. Down will go the Abaddon, and just 17 minutes in, GG is called by WG.Unity. CG take this series 2-0, and it's as easy as that. CG
that was a really
why.
really well executed fight from CG. I think they always had someone that kept an eye on where the Dazzle was, just to make sure that the Dazzle couldn't get his grave off. And something else I'd like to point out that's really cool is they stack the Ancients for the Bristle, which just shows that CG has a really good understanding of the hero, or like this isn't the first time they ran Bristleback, because I don't think a lot of people know that Bristleback can clear those stacks really quickly.
So 11-1 for the Troll, 2-0 for the Crystal Maiden, 3-0 for the Magnus, 2-1 for the Bristle, and 2-3 for the Earthshaker. They made it look very easy, and showing why they're one of the top teams in Southeast Asia right now. Very much so. So it's a very easy 2-0 for Clutch Gamers. That's it for us. That was only one series that I was told to do, and that's what we did. So that's it for me, your caster, B-Cop, joined here by Franz, and I am at BCop92 on Twitter. He is at HelloFranz on Twitter. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Franz, for joining me. It was great again. It was awesome. So
thank you for having me. That was a fun series to watch.
Yeah,
CG definitely showing that they're a really good team.
Yeah, it looked very strong.
My friend Conrad was telling me that CG or Clutch Gamers might actually be able to beat or compete like with the other top teams in Southeast Asia. So it should be exciting to watch this team in the future.
Yeah, I'd love to see them go up against Faceless to give them a run for their money, as they've been kind of top dogs at Southeast Asia for just about a year now, maybe a little bit more. So we'll have to see how they do it. Let's see how Clutch Gamers kind of progress up to TI.